Listen, we're delighted to have with us on Parade of Quartets Judge Ashley Wright. Of course, she's a judge here in our area. Glad to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here with you. I appreciate the opportunity to have a chat.
Yeah, well, you know, we hear a lot. Often we can't connect the name with the face when it comes to judges because we read about you guys in the paper, and but we never see faces. But you've been around for a while as a judge. How long have you been on the bench?
Last week, it was my 5th anniversary on the bench. It's hard to believe it's been that long.
Been that long. Yeah. Now, were you appointed? How did you get to the bench? Or did you were you elected? Or how did that go?
So far, I've been both.
Really?
I was originally appointed to fill an unexpired term, which began on February the 1st.
Okay.
And it lasted until the end of that year. And during that year, I stood for election. Okay. And I have retained my seat, and I'm hoping to do it again.
Yeah, good. And it's a shame that we have to do that like that, electing judges like that. But one of the things I think maybe our audience will be interested in is that what's the difference between Superior Court and State Court?
It's just a level of what we can actually handle. Mm-hmm. So the things that happen in Superior Court on a criminal basis are a little bit more serious because they're the felony cases, not just the quality of life and misdemeanor cases that they hear in State Court. And we have a little bit more jurisdiction with regard to financial issues. Okay.
And so so there's a higher level. Is that like a step up?
Sort of. That's a good description.
The hierarchy. Yeah. The hierarchy going on. Listen. One of the things I often wonder about the judges, you guys have a life, or a faith life, a family life. How do you balance that, that life and passion for people and for humanity, and when it comes to having to make decisions about a person's life or their future? How do you balance that?
Well, throughout the course of the workday, I think we balance it by stopping a little bit between each case so that we can start fresh with the next person that comes before us and make sure that we treat that person with all the dignity and respect they need in that moment. And that little break helps. It is a little bit isolating because there's not a lot of times where you can really share about what's going on. And for that reason, it's important to have a faith life because there is one way to share.
That is. Yeah.
And prayer does a lot.
Okay. Yeah, well, like I said, we've had some times when we watch you on the bench, just being in the courtroom. You have a passion for young people.
I do.
And trying to keep them out of the legal system. Where does that come from?
Before I went to law school, I actually worked for a little while with behavior disordered children. Okay. And it gave me a very different perspective about things that cause them to have problems. And some of it obviously comes from within, but a lot of it is external. And I think that if we can sometimes change that external environment and provide more support, then we can prevent a lot of things from happening. With my criminal law background, I saw a lot of after the fact. Now that I'm working a lot with the domestic side and the custody and the divorce, I'm hoping that we're in a position we can try to prevent some of those things from happening.
And I would imagine there are maybe some programs or something some models across the country maybe we can adopt here in Richmond County, Augusta, that may be kind of preventive or maybe getting out in front of it before it happens. Are there any programs that you've heard of that may work in that regard?
I wish that we had more. I know we have a lot of luck here with one-on-one mentoring, and that's been very helpful. We are working on a partnership with Augusta Tech, where they will be able to provide some classes and support. That would be GEDs, it would be job training, probably some support in career services with helping connect people to employers, and I think that goes a long way.
Yeah, that sounds good, because that will work with, especially with parents, making them better parents and making them where they're self-sustainable as far as income and all. So I think that'd be a great program that can happen. Now, unfortunately, like I say, it's an election once again for you guys again. And how often do judges have to run for election?
In the Superior Court, we're up every 4 years, and unlike many of the other courts, we actually have our election in the May primary. And so we're sort of a one and done because we're nonpartisan.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your compassion that we've seen that throughout these 5 years. And before that, you were doing something else.
I was in the district attorney's office for almost 21 years.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Listen, well, thank you for sharing with us. And like I said, anything we need to know, why don't you just let us know.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed being with you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck.
Okay.